Hi, buddy. Welcome back. This is Sarah. So happy to see you again, and welcome if it's your first time here. My name is Sarah. Sarah, be nice. Hi, buddy. Welcome. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Sarah. Sarah, be nice. Author of Alchemy of Happiness, a book focused on healing our inner child. We have previously looked at, if you laid the ground for the inner child, what it is and what it isn't. And right now we're going to look at the 10 habits of the unhealed inner child. First of all, recognizing the signs of an unhealed inner child is the first step toward healing. These 10 are not everything, all the signs, but these are the 10 common ones. And if you know someone or you feel triggered by any of these, do reach out. Number 10 will surprise you the most. So without further ado, we'll start with number 1, which is fear of abandonment. We'll constantly worry that people will leave us, or leading to clinginess and avoiding relationships. Now, fear of abandonment plays a very, very big role. And we're going to look at 3 different aspects of our lives and see how these things tie into our lives. Number 1, we're going to look at relationships, and then friendships, and then work, like what we do and how we do it and how it can be affected by these signs. So fear of abandonment. In a relationship, you're going to be clingy. You're going to, because you fear this person leaving you, you fear this person walking out on you, you're constantly going to follow them, you're constantly going to ask them where they are, what they're doing and everything. Of course, it's going to be annoying, and you're going to perhaps be nagging at the same time. But to you feel like if you don't do this, they're going to abandon you. But the question is, why do you think they're going to abandon you? What makes you think they will? Why should you even be scared? So chances are that you had a moment, or you had a moment in your childhood where you were abandoned, and that affected you so deeply, such that even as an adult, you feel that if you're connected to someone, they're going to walk out on you. And in a workplace, you're going to feel somewhat unworthy, to a point that you feel like, oh, maybe my bosses don't like me enough. Maybe they might have to do this to keep this job, because if I don't do it, they might get rid of me. That is also a sign of fear of abandonment. And in friendships, you're going to constantly check on your friends, not checking on them like, hey, how are you? I miss you and all that. You're going to be checking on them in the sense of, are we still friends? You're going to act awkward, to be honest, but this is because you're afraid of your friends leaving you. And that fear can affect our friendships, our relations, and even our workplaces. Number 2, people pleasing. Now, you'll find that prioritizing other people's needs over our own to seek validation and avoid rejection. Now, why would you do that? Why would you put somebody else's, not only once, but all the time, constantly putting somebody else's needs before your own? Say, for example, you want to do something for yourself and you know it's going to be beneficial to you, and then your friend, your lover, it's going to go, your lover maybe, but your friends or somebody from work will go like, hey, Sarah, can you do such and such tomorrow? You drop everything that you're going to do for yourself that is beneficial to you, could even be health related, but you drop everything to please the other person. And why would you do that? This is because you feel like you are not deserving, so you have to do things, you have to please people so that you can earn their friendship, you can earn that relationship, you can earn the work, the positions. Even if you have all the merit, you're married to be in that position, you're still going to people please so that you will be accepted. Number 3, struggling with boundaries. Now, if you have difficulty saying no, or feeling guilty when asserting yourself, chances are that you are struggling with inner child issues. Now, again, it intertwines with the previous one, but when we struggle with boundaries, we don't know how to say no. We think that if we say no, we're going to be rude. If we speak our mind, you feel like I cannot speak my mind because then I might be seen a certain way. You are not even being true to yourself. You are not being hypocritical, because what's the point of pleasing somebody else when you are not even pleased with that decision that you have made? So struggling with boundaries, I'll give another example. Say perhaps maybe in a workplace again, your bosses want you to do extra time, either come in early every day, come in late, leave late, or do whatever. And perhaps it's not even paid for. Perhaps you had other things to do in the morning or in the evening, but you're going to say yes because you feel like if you speak up, if you say your mind, speak your mind, you're not going to be accepted. So we struggle with those boundaries, and that by itself doesn't help you. You're not going to be happy, and it's not going to help the other person. They're not going to maybe give you extra. You're not going to get extra pay for that. They're not going to love you more for that. They'll just use you because you've put yourself out there to be used, right? So it doesn't benefit anyone. And yet, if you have boundaries, of course, you have a healthier life and fulfillment and the rest of it. So struggling with boundaries is very, very important as a sign of, it is a big sign of somebody struggling with the inner child. Number 4, self-sabotage, engaging in behavior that prevents success or happiness due to deep-seated fears or failure or unworthiness. Now, again, as you can see these things, there is an element of unworthiness connected to them. Now, self-sabotage can happen either in relationships where you are in a very good relationship or a potentially good relationship, but then somewhat you do things, you poke your partner, you do things just to end that relationship because you think you do not deserve that relationship. And if you end it, or if you do things to end it, the sooner you end it, the better it's going to be, because then you'll be out of the misery. You even believe that being in a relationship is miserable because it's going to end very soon, so you better end it now so it puts you out of misery. It is crazy, but there are people who think like that. And in workplaces, you wake up every morning, you go to this place, but then because of the lack of worthiness, you feel unworthy of this job, you start getting in late, you start doing things differently, you start not reaching your deadlines, if there is any. And you do these things also with friends. You don't show up to your friends' parties, they call you, you don't pick up, you do all sorts of things because you think, oh, I don't really think they like me. Why do they even like me? I'm not worthy liking, and that sort of thing. So you self-sabotage in every aspect of your life because you don't think that you're worthy. And if you're doing this, just know that it is a sign of unhealed inner child. Number 5, emotional outbursts. You'll find that you overreact to situations due to unresolved childhood emotions. Now, emotional outbursts, we've talked about this before, where somebody says something and you just boom, walk out of the room, bang the doors, do all sorts of things. You feel triggered. And why are you triggered? This is usually because there is something that is not healed. There's something that this person has tapped on that has actually gotten you in that state. Say, for example, they might have said something or used a tonality that connects to a thing that happened a very, very long time ago that actually is triggered within you right now, and you just, so emotional outbursts are usually signs, or is a sign of unhealed inner child. Number 6, fear of criticism. Feeling overly defensive or hurt when receiving feedback. Now, that fear of criticism can go as far as if I put this out there, people are going to criticize me. If I do this, people are going to criticize me. So you're constantly feeling like you're going to be criticized. But what's wrong with being criticized? Unless if you have a very bad experience from criticism, that you feel that if you do something now, it's going to bring you back to a moment where you were criticized and made to feel a certain way. Maybe people put you down, and now you feel like if anybody criticizes you, they are going to be putting you down. Number 7, attraction to toxic relationships. Now, toxic relationships. Some people like to call that trauma bonding. And why would you want to trauma bond? Because that's what we know. That's what we grow up seeing. If you come from a background where you used to see people fight, people constantly being unkind to one another, people, talking to each other in a very disrespectful way, you're going to think that that's how things should be. And if you end up in a good relationship, you're going to sort of self-sabotage that, or sort of walk away from that so that you can create a relationship that is toxic, because that's what you know how to deal with that more than you can deal with a healthy, wholesome relationship. Now, if you're going through that, it is a sign, because we all know that toxic relationship is not good and it never ends well. So if you're going through that, it is a sign that you need to heal your inner child, to go back to what caused you or made you think or believe that this is how things should be. And once you find out, then perhaps then you can go on a journey of self-healing. And like said before, it is a journey. It isn't a one-night thing. It isn't an overnight thing. It is a journey that starts with, first of all, realizing that you have a problem, and then actually going deeper at looking what this problem is, how it started, and then looking for solutions. Number 8, lack of self-worth. Now, if you're struggling with self-love, constantly seeking external validation, or feeling a sense, some sort of void within, it is a good sign that you struggle with or still have inner child wounds that you need to heal. Why would anyone feel unworthy? Usually children are the most confident people, and they express themselves until when they can't. And when they cannot express themselves, there is usually a reason, that has something that has happened that has made them stop expressing themselves. So the question is, why do I feel unworthy? Why do I lack self-worthiness? Why do I struggle with self-love? Say, for example, you wake up, somebody calls you, hey, let's go to a spa, let's go do this, something nice for yourself, and you feel like you almost feel guilty to do these things because you feel like it's wrong. You feel like even if you're not the one paying for it, and you're going to come up with excuses. You're going to come up with excuses that, oh, you know what, I'd love to come, but I've got to clean my flat. I've got to do such and such. You'd rather do something else than treating yourself to something nice. That lack of self-worthiness will make us create situations whereby we're constantly in a state of almost punishing ourselves and never ever rewarding ourselves, which isn't healthy, of course, which isn't why we are here, So lack of self-worth is a very, very good sign that you still or you struggle, or you have inner child trapped trauma that needs to be addressed. Number 9, avoidance of emotions. Now, you'll find, I don't know if you've come across people who literally numbing their emotions through distractions like social media, overworking themselves, substance use, and so many other things. But again, numbing emotions, sometimes people go as far as doing something excessively so that they can never express themselves. They'll do something like they're people pleasing, or they're constantly like busy. They act to be busy. They want to be busy. And if nothing works, they want to use something to escape what is going on, whatever is going on. And of course, numbing themselves through using substance is another another example. But the question is, why are they avoiding their emotions? What happened? Chances are that something happened that hurt them so bad that they shut those emotions out and thought, I'll never connect with people, I'll never connect with anyone, I'll never fall in love, I'll never do this. And they even, sometimes you might find that they even forgot what happened, what might have happened, but they know that they have to shut their emotions down. So this brings us to number 10, and thanks for sticking around. I hope you like this. If you did, let me know. If you want me to dive deep in any one of the 10 points, let me know. If you've been triggered, reach out or find help wherever you can. So number 10 is difficulty trusting others. Yeah, that's a big one. Trusting others. And again, using the 3 elements we've been talking about: relationship, friendships, and workspace. Difficulty trusting others can affect any one of those. In relationship, we all know that without trust, we don't have a relationship really. So if you don't trust your partner, your husband or wife, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to do? Like pretty much nothing. So it can make or break it can break a relationship. Friendships, if you don't trust your friends, you constantly think, oh, my friends are with me because my friends are with me because I do such and such for them. My friends are with me because I am this good to them, or I'm that to them. That is also a sign of unhealed childhood, because obviously, if you're confident, if you know what you bring to the table, if you know the sort of person that you are, there's no point you even ever doubting your friends later on thinking that way. So the real question to ask yourself, at this point is, why don't I trust people? Why don't I trust those around me? Why don't I trust? So if you don't trust, chances are that due to a past betrayal or lack of trust, or neglect rather, due to a past betrayal or neglect, you lost trust in people, you lost trust in anybody around you because you felt deeply neglected or deeply betrayed. So if any of these, if you related with any of these, or if you know somebody who related or who suffers from any of these, show them this video. If you related with any of these, there's always help. And if you think that you struggle or suffer from any of these, I'll leave you just a few tips that you can start using right away. Number 1, acknowledge your inner child. And number 2, practice self-compassion. Now, once you acknowledge these things, you realize this thing, you acknowledge what happened, be compassionate to yourself. Practice self-compassion. Each time something happens, pops up, remember that the first person that is going to be kind is going to be yourself. You're going to be kind to yourself before anybody else can do that for you. Number 3, you can start journaling or reflecting. This is it's a very, very practical tool, but it can also trigger a lot of things, and it is equally effective. Write down what you remember, how you remember it, and just let it out of your system, because when you do that, you sort of empty those things, those traumas, and you put them on a piece of paper. You can choose to burn it, you can choose to throw it away, or you can keep it, but as long as you've sort of connected to that and let it out. It's pretty much similar to talking to somebody. You can even write as though you're writing a letter to someone who hurt you so much, but you don't send it, but you write it and let out all your thoughts in that letter. And lastly, if you want, you can reach out. You can reach out to, if you have a therapist, you can find a therapist for support, or find a friend you can trust in and talk to them, or you can engage in meditation if that's your sort of thing, or daily affirmation, positive affirmations to reaffirm, to bring in positivity in your life. you can surely rewrite your story, and we shall do that. We can do that together here, and look forward to hearing from you and hear your comments and your journey so far. And until next time, I wish you nothing but the best: happiness, joy, and abundance. So speak to you soon, see you soon, hear from you soon. Until then, be nice.